And today in the workshop I'm back onto the SONY Giga Juke. But it came in as a machine that wouldn't boot up and had many problems with the power supplies, but with that resolved it then turned into a machine that just refused to boot up. Well, I then wandered down a rabbit hole assuming all of these capacitors were on the power supply. Eagle-eyed viewers spotted me wipe a tiny resistor off the motherboard, which has had some profound effect on the display. And with the sudden loss of display, I got busy checking the clock and data signals on this serial data line here, but what I missed was it also had this chroma and luminance connections here, which in a twist of fate happened to travel through these capacitors that I'd replaced. Oh. And we can also see here a 75 ohm resistor that had got displaced in the process. And we can see the missing luminance signal right here. And we can see the signal is completely missing from pin 9. But if I have a look at pin 7, we do at least get the chroma burst. Perfect. So all I need to do is put that resistor back on. But I'm going to need the microscope, because these resistors are tiny. These are the 0402 package, which have a length of 1mm. And getting them out of the packet's half the trouble. I'm going to try and apply a small blob of solder flux onto there first, without making too much mess. Just going to touch it with the iron, just to freshen the pads up a bit. It doesn't look a lot there, does it? Now for the annoying bit, while I try and get these resistors out of the packet. Just bring the end of the tape within range of this, see if I can peel it up. The challenge already. There we go, there is one exposed. If I'm going to tip that on. Where is it? I don't see that anywhere. I better get another one. I just found the first one now, it was on the bench. So if I can get it in the sticky flux. There we go. The plan is to heat both pads up at the same time with the soldering iron tip, and hopefully it will find its own centre. And that's it. So let's check that that has fixed it. Just power it on. And there we have a display. Look at that. Oh wait, oh, the hard disk's actually going now. This is more encouraging. It seems to be loading up. Excellent. And now it's gone into standby again. Well, we'll see if it works. Oh, I don't know what this is. Let's just close it. Well, this looks like it's working. I better connect the amplifier to it now. We'll give it a whirl. Oh, so we've got an album on here. Aaron Carter. Is that the only one? Oh, there's only one album on it. Okay. Well, let's play it. Well, this sounds rather dark and demonic. I've never heard of Aaron Carter. Oh wow. I don't know if this is right. Oh. I'm not sure this is right. It's as if it's a bit slow. No, definitely wrong. I'm sad too. Let's turn that off. Something wrong with that. I'll have to have a little play. Well, we'll try CD. Well, we'll try and liven it up with a bit of the Stones. Get a load of that. Oh, for God's sake. The CD player doesn't work. That's all I need. So, more to repair. Wonder how else I can test it. Well, you can give me my disc back for a start off. I can try the FM tuner. Well, not much going on there. That's probably because there's no aerial. I'll give it the workshop antenna. What if I can record the radio? Oh yes. Okay, we'll try that. Go back to the hard disk. Well, that's playing back perfectly. Much better. Well, no weird slowness there. So it looks like when this Giga Juke rips the audio itself, it's doing it perfectly well. So the slow playing Aaron Carter track, I think maybe down to an imported MP3 that's got a too high bitrate for the DAC in this. So just a thought. I'm no expert on these things, but I don't think there's much up with it. But that CD player, got to fix that. I'll probably need to take this fascia off the drawer. Hopefully just sort of lift it off. There we are. I think the hard disk has to come out first. Try and pull the power plug out. And this IDE cable. That came out easier. Might take this off the main board as well, just to make it a little bit easier to get around. So under these screws here. I should just lift away freely with a bit of luck. Yes. See if I can get these plugs out of the way as well. There's that one. And the IDE cable. There we go. It's looking very dusty in here, I have to say. It looks like it's been screwed in the bottom. You know what I mean. I think it's only these 4 screws. Or these ones. But I'm going to take the front fascia off as well, because I reckon that's going to get tangled up in it. I'm going to try these screws here. See if it loosens off. I have to do this manually because I can't get the bit that close. Well, I've got it looser, but I should have took this frame out. So if I can just remove the panel altogether. I disconnect the display and the keypad. And this and that. There we go. We can at least now get the CD drive out. Well, this looks very standard, like the hard disk did really. Let's wipe this dust off it. Don't want it getting inside it, to be honest. Well, the part number doesn't give too much away, but I'm hoping it's just either a dirty lens or maybe a bad laser. See if I can just peel this up. There we go. So I can get the fascia off. Yes, I can. I think I can just tease this cover off. There we go. It is dirty in here, but this doesn't look too bad at all. If I didn't know better, this looks like a Sanyo part. And how did I spot that? I don't know. I need all the help I can get. Now, let's see if I've got one in stock. Well, apparently I do. High quality as well. Oh, made in China. We'll see. Although, to be fair, it is where you expect them to be made. What I'm looking for is this little soldered blob. There it is. That's to short the diode out so it doesn't get statically zapped. Got to remove that before we put it in. Probably easier to remove this from this side. Take this board out first. Just flick these tabs down. Carefully pull these out. They shouldn't offer too much resistance. Bend these tabs out of the way and it should lift off. There we are. I need to take these guide rods out, and I think I can do that by removing this. That should be the motor away. There it is. And then just these two screws. I think this just lifts out. Looks like it does. There we go. Just wipe this gunk off here. I'm going to drag that into the mechanism. It's a bit of fluff or whatever. So that should be able to slide off. I've got to remove this white part because it's not included on the new one. Just one screw by the looks of it. And it just lifts off. And of course I've got to salvage this ribbon cable. Let's tease it out. Okay. So we'll take our new laser, put the plastic part on. Just install the cable. There we are. Just going to steal a bit of the lubrication grease from this side so I can share it out. There we go. Let's try and line everything up. Get the guide rods in those little locations. Let's put the spindle motor back on. So I'll take that solder blob off. There we go. Now put the control board back in place. Let's tease these little flexible cables back in. I'm going to knock some of this fluff out of the drive mechanism. Drop the lid on here. And then the bottom cover. Pop the bezel on as well. I'll give this a good clean if it works. How's that for a promise? Perch the hard disk on top. Try and get this connector in here. It's a little bit tight, a bit awkward. There we go. And the power plug. This one's easy to get at. There we are. Just offer the fascia up to it. Put the display cable back in. Bit of a fiddle as standard. There we go. And this one. And this other little thing. And then finally the keypad cable. Well, let's check it still works. Oh, it's got to do that setup thing again. This could take a while. Well, that's a good result. Let's hear it play. Oh, that's interesting. Very slow playback. There's no doubt about that. Oh my god. What is wrong with this? Now that's interesting, it's a CD player that's playing half speed. Now I thought it was a dodgy MP3 import or something, but it doesn't look like it. Well, I'll turn that off. Looks like the CD player's got to come out again. Well, I'm getting a bit of practice in doing this part anyway. Well, off with the lid again. Now I'm presuming that the spindle's actually rotating at roughly half speed, but I don't know why. But the spindle motor is here, it's connected to this ribbon cable, so probably driven by this driver chip. So let's undo these ribbon cables again. Need longer nails. Well, look at that right in the middle. That's a rather convoluted way of saying it's lead-free solder on here. There's not much on here, and this chip is obviously doing all of the brain power. Now this is a multi-speed drive because I understand this can rip the CDs at up to 4 times speed, so speed variation is a factor. Oh wow, I've just spotted something and the capacitor police are going to be delighted. This cap here is literally popped off its base, and so is this one. But I'm not going to argue, they are definitely bad caps. But are they causing it to run at half speed? Only one way to find out. Well, we've got a mixture of 6 and 16 volt caps here, and it's the 6 volt ones which seems to have bitten it. I wonder if they're on that 5 volt rail that temporarily saw 24 volts. Let's just check from here. Is that on the 5 volt pin? Yes, it is. I'm going to keep an eye out for any little resistors hanging by. It looks pretty clear around here. Nothing lurking close by. Yeah, we're okay. Just going to check we haven't got any shorted ones. No, that's not shorted. Nor is that. No shorts there. Nah. Don't think that's a short. Check it this way round. Yeah, and that's just across some sort of components. No shorts there. No, not here. Not here. And not there. So check the ESR as well. That's not looking very good, but I'm amazed it's actually not terrible. That one's okay. That one's okay. That's also good. And so's that. How's our bad one looking? I'm amazed that's still looking sort of okay-ish. I mean, it's still bad, but yeah. Yeah, that one's okay. Unbelievably, they still function, albeit without much electrolyte in them. Now, failing capacitors is going to be a big topic on the Amend It Like Mark community later this month, so check it out if you're interested. Just going to put a little bit of fresh solder on here, mainly for the flux, to be honest. Makes it easier to unsolder them. And this one. Then just pull it off with the old dreadful soldering tweezers. These are pretty old, I have to say. Took its time coming off, that one. Just put a tiny bit of fresh flux on there. Perhaps that's not such a tiny amount. Just reflow this solder a bit. Just start with a 47 mic cap. Just line that up there. Let's get that leg down as well. There we are. Then put this 100 mic one into place. Just tack that down there. There we are. Same job over here. Lovely. Just flip this over. I've no idea if this is going to fix it. I just hope it does. Reconnect the laser pick up there. And the spindle motor ribbon. There we go. Lock it in. And this one for the sled motor. Just plonk the lid back on. Definitely easier to connect this ribbon cable before I put it in the machine. Slide it in. Let's get the power connector in there. There we are. Put the hard disk back on. Power connector as well. Try and get this in one go. There we are. And into the main board. Here we go. Then the front panel. Moment of truth. No, that's made no difference at all. Oh, so much for the caps. I'm going to see if I can get this CD player to run out of the machine. Well, I've dug out this old Dell Optiplex computer. This is the oldest machine I've got left in the workshop, and a bit worryingly it's full of SATA connections, which aren't what I'm looking for. Fortunately, it's got an expansion card with an IDE interface. That's very handy. But it didn't have the right power connector, so I'm going to power it off the bench power supply. Fortunately, the TIAC drive is actually pretty standard, so Windows recognised it straight away. We have to operate it from here because there's no eject button. Let's put our disc in. I have to shove it with my fingers. We'll see how it plays. Well, nothing wrong with that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to shut this machine down for another load of years. Pull these cables out. So I'm pretty sure there's nothing wrong with this. Now, I did say, in the event of the CD drive working, I was going to give this a clean out. Now we have to ponder the reasons why it might be running slow in this Giga Juke machine. This could get really tricky. What's causing this then? Oh, this is at the right speed. Oh wow, it's fixed itself. Well, I don't want to do too much of that because of YouTube copyright, and I think Mick Jagger's earned enough money. without my help. Well, now that's working, let's try recording it. This is apparently ripping it at 4 times speed. I'll probably go along with that. Just coming to the end of ripping all these tracks. It's all done in silence, mind you. There we go, it's finished. Let's listen to this CD again. Oh. Oh dear, it's going slow again. How about the recording? However, I have a feeling I know the answer. Oh. Oh, what has happened? Well, it was happy until it started the ripping process, so I've got a horrible feeling this is on the main board. This is a terrible situation for a repair, I have to say. We can see on this block diagram that the hard disk and CD-ROM connection goes directly to this main system controller, this chip here. Now, it's got software in there which is contained in an EEPROM chip, and there's a crystal clock, 25 MHz, we could check that. This is the 25 MHz crystal. There it is, pretty perfect. And we got the 27 MHz crystal here, as it should be. And on the back of the motherboard to the IGE connector here, all of these traces are going to the chip here, and there's just some resistors in series, that's all there is. Now, because it's playing at all, I'm pretty sure they're all good. This could well be a piece of corrupted software, so I'll have a look for a firmware update. But it looks like Sony have given up supporting this model already. There's no downloads for it. So I'll have my CD back, thank you. Might as well get its bit of trim back. So it either needs new firmware loading in, or it needs a new mainboard, and I don't fancy my chances of finding one. Rather annoyingly, I'd rather jump the gun and resprayed the lid. Well, it sort of half works. Makes for a nice FM radio though. See, nothing wrong there. I don't think I'm going to get a spare board or the firmware for this, so I think this is going to have to stay as half fixed. If you're interested in more shenanigans like this, check out the Mend It Like Mark community, information in the description below, and I'll catch you next time. Just stick it on eBay as untested. That's what everyone else does.